to Lil Durk's potential life sentence tied to the alleged murder-for-hire plot. Lil Durk made his court appearance right there in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida the very next day after. He got arrested near Miami International Airport on Thursday, October 24th. However, he has not yet been found guilty. So how has he reacted? Let's find out. Lil Durk stares down a lifetime in prison. According to sources, if Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks, is found guilty, he could be looking at some serious consequences, like life in prison or even the death penalty, for his role in a murder-for-hire plot. Now, there's a whole process ahead: interrogation, arraignment, trial, and sentencing. It's not a quick thing. He'll have to go through each step of the justice system. The rapper, who's made a name for himself with his gritty lyrics and loyalty to Chicago's OTF, Only the Family Collective, might end up being interrogated and held in Broward County Jail. These charges are a big deal, and he's about to face a tough legal fight. Lil Durk made his first court appearance on Friday, October 25th, 2024 in Florida, after being arrested the previous night. Netizens have responded intensely to his arrest, sharing strong opinions and their own interpretations of the situation. On October 26th, DJ Academics hopped onto Instagram to share a post from the Chicago Tribune, revealing new details about Durk's attempt to leave the country. This post stirred up a lot of buzz about the OTF CEO's arrest. One person even drew a comparison between Durk's situation and Young Thug's ongoing YSL RICO trial. As it stands, if Young Thug is found guilty, he could be looking at anywhere from 5 to 20 years behind bars. One user commented, 30 years minimum? He's in a worse position than Thugga is, while another wrote, bro had a master plan planned out and failed miserably. While some people made fun of Lil Durk's arrest, many of his fans came through with their support, reminding everyone that he was innocent until proven guilty. Lil Durk apparently tried to make a run for it to Italy before getting caught up. Reports say he actually booked 3 different flights to try and dodge capture before he got taken in on conspiracy charges. According to an affidavit from FBI agent Sarah Corcoran, along with some court records, Durk allegedly tried to flee to Italy before he got arrested. Now Banks is facing charges for conspiring to carry out a murder for hire in the death of Saviaya Robinson, aka Lil Pop, Quando Rondo's cousin, a 24-year-old who was killed during an incident on August 19, 2022. Banks isn't the only one facing charges. He's one of 5 people involved, facing serious accusations like murder, murder for hire, and conspiracy. Here's how it went down. After 5 members of his Only the Family, OTF, crew got arrested earlier in Chicago, Lil Durk supposedly booked 2 flights out of South Florida, one to Switzerland and another to Dubai. He also set up a private flight to Italy, all in what looked like an attempt to avoid getting nabbed. But federal authorities managed to catch up with him before he could hop on that flight to Italy. It's still a bit of a mystery why he booked those flights to Switzerland and Dubai. In the end, U.S. Marshals tracked him down in Florida and took him in. He's now facing conspiracy charges for allegedly setting up a hit on fellow rapper Quando Rondo. A spokesperson from California's U.S. Attorney's Office, where the charges were filed, mentioned that Durk is set to be arraigned in Los Angeles in the coming weeks. They stated that Durk, referred to as Mr. Banks, is accused of orchestrating a murder that resulted in the death of a rival's family member. The incident reportedly took place at a gas station located at a busy intersection, which put many others in danger. The authorities highlighted their strict stance against such acts of violence. Banks is being called out as the leader of a Chicago rap group known as Only the Family, OTF. According to a federal criminal complaint filed on Thursday in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, this group is accused of using violence, including things like murder and assault, under Banks's direction. The complaint also claims that Banks put out a monetary bounty out for an individual with whom Banks was feuding. Banks was involved in a conflict with someone referred to as TB in the court documents. According to the complaint on August 19, 2022, several OTF members allegedly used 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to murder TB at a gas station located in Los Angeles. During this incident, they reportedly fired around 18 shots at T.B, quote, S vehicle, and one of those shots ended up killing SR, a family member who was traveling with TB. This event is connected to what appears to be an attempted revenge hit targeting rapper Quando Rondo at that gas station, leading to the death of Rondo's cousin. The feds say that Banks paid 5 people to travel from Chicago to LA to carry out the attack, and those people have since been arrested. Authorities even searched places linked to the OTF crew and hinted that more arrests could happen soon. The FBI notes that this entire situation actually goes back to an incident in November 2020 when OTF rapper King Von, real name Davon Bennett, was shot and killed during a nightclub altercation in Atlanta. During a fight between Von and Rondo, one of Rondo's friends reportedly opened fire, hitting Von multiple times and ending his life. Von was known for hits like Crazy Story and Took Her to the O. After that, Banks allegedly let it be known that he'd pay anyone willing to eliminate Rondo, whose real name is Tyquan Bowman. This tension lingered until the events of August 2022, as detailed by FBI agent Sarah Corcoran. On August 18, 2022, Banks's associates learned that Rondo was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. That same day, 5 suspects, DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, Asa Houston, and another unidentified person, flew from Chicago to San Diego before making their way to LA, using money that Banks had provided. Banks reportedly instructed one of his associates to avoid booking flights under any names that could be connected to him, and surveillance footage placed him at a house in the San Fernando Valley that day. Once in LA, the OTF members met up with Kion Grant, a key associate who flew in on a private jet. Grant set them up with hotel rooms, bought ski masks, and arranged for 2 luxury sedans. He also provided them with firearms, including one modified to function as a fully automatic weapon. The next day, the group allegedly tracked Rondo and Robinson around Los Angeles, following them from a marijuana dispensary to a clothing store in West Hollywood, and then to a gas station near the Beverly Center. At that point, Houston parked nearby, allowing Jones, Lindsay, and the unidentified person to set up an ambush. They reportedly opened fire, hitting and killing Robinson, who was outside the vehicle, while Rondo managed to escape unharmed. After the shooting, the crew regrouped at an In-N-Out, discussed payment details with Grant, and flew back to Chicago from San Diego. Wilson later handed out payments to Jones and Lindsay, though the exact amount remains unknown. While Lil Durk allegedly sought revenge on Quando Rondo, questions remain about whether he was truly involved in King Von's death or if his connection to the events is more complex. Quando Rondo's alleged role in King Von's death. King Von, who was a rising star in the Chicago drill scene, sadly lost his life after a shooting incident in Atlanta on Friday morning, November 6, 2020. He was just 26 years old. According to the Atlanta Police Department, 3 people lost their lives and 3 others were injured during a shooting right outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge. The whole thing reportedly started as an argument between 2 groups, which quickly got out of hand. This led to one of the 2 off-duty uniformed police officers who were working security outside the lounge and an on-duty officer on patrol nearby stepping in to try and control the situation. The person accused of being the shooter was Timothy Leaks, also known as Lil Tim. He's actually the older brother of Quando Rondo, who used to be one of Von's closest friends. A video of the shooting made its way onto social media, and that's how Leaks ended up getting arrested. In the footage, you can supposedly spot Leaks alongside Quando Rondo, exchanging shots with some of Von's crew members. On November 8, 2020, the Atlanta Police Department confirmed that the APD homicide unit had officially secured arrest warrants against 22-year-old Timothy Leaks for felony murder in the shooting death of Davon Bennett. Lil Tim was 22 years old back then. Mr. Leaks had to remain in police custody at Grady Hospital, where he received treatment for a gunshot wound. In 2021, Quando Rondo opened up about the events of November 6, 2020, the night King Von was tragically shot and killed in Atlanta. In the first part of a multi-part interview with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club, which dropped on Quando's official YouTube channel on April 12, 2021, the Savannah, Georgia rapper shared his perspective on the physical altercation that escalated to gunfire between his crew and King Von's. He explained, "I walk to the car. I tell my brother. I say, it's this amount to park right here." He was referring to Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, who was later charged with King Von's murder. Quando continued, "I said, I'm not going in the club. Find you a lil female or whatever, cuz I'm like, you got 15 minutes, cuz then I'm dipping. We about to go to the house." He also confirmed reports that he had been sleeping in a car just prior to the shooting outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge. Quando recounted that his brother had insisted he wouldn't let him just sit in the car and go to sleep. Instead, he decided to wait outside by a friend's car until they parked next to a high-value vehicle. He felt safe with his close friend, knowing he would protect him no matter what. As he continued to share his perspective, he described his mindset at the time, thinking it was just a regular night. He wasn't looking to confront anyone and assumed the people passing by were just ordinary individuals. However, things took a turn when he suddenly felt a blow, leading him to experience what he described as an out-of-body moment. Shortly after the shooting occurred around 3 a.m. on November 6, 2020, various reports started surfacing about the incident. One account indicated that Quando had been asleep in his car and woke up to find King Von's crew nearby. When he stepped out of the car, he was reportedly approached by King Von, who acted aggressively that night. Lil Tim then shot King Von in the altercation. Sources indicated that Quando Rondo and his crew were acting in self-defense, and it was clarified that he was not under investigation for King Von's death, as he did not fire the fatal shots. After Lil Tim's arrest for King Von's murder, the case was closed. On November 7th, 2020, Lil Tim was charged with King Von's murder but wasn't booked into Fulton County Jail until November 19, 2020, because he had to be hospitalized for injuries he sustained during the incident. He was later released on a $100,000 bond in March 2021. The attorney for Timothy Lil Tim Leaks has now confirmed to 11 Alive that his murder charge was dismissed in 2023. After everything that's gone down, Lil Durk's fans have taken to the internet calling for his release. They're making comparisons, pointing out that King Von's suspected killer, Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, ended up being cleared of all charges. Plus, Quando Rondo, who was also reportedly involved in Von's death, is still out and about. For example, one user on X responded to a post on X that said, "He slid for Von," saying, "Now I can't lie, this can't be disputed anymore, but Quando and Lil Tim still untouched, so it's still a L." Now there's a video making rounds again, showing Wallow giving some heartfelt advice to Lil Durk about not seeking revenge for King Von's death. This clip, which originally went viral back in 2022, comes from a powerful episode of the podcast, $1 Million Worth of Game. Wallow, whose real name is Wallace Peoples, co-hosts the show. And in this episode, he opened up to Lil Durk with some serious words of wisdom about avoiding retaliation. Wallow shared a deeply personal story talking about the pain of losing his own brother to gun violence. He said, "I forgave my brother's killer. My brother died in my grandma's arms in that house we grew up in." He described the heartbreak of witnessing his brother's last moments, but emphasized that choosing not to seek revenge helped him find a way forward and make a positive difference. He emphasized how important it is to break the cycle of violence, noting that if he hadn't let go of his anger, he wouldn't have been able to be there for his family, especially his niece and nephews. Wallow encouraged Durk to consider his own family and the legacy he would leave behind. He expressed hope that they could find a way out of the dangerous environment, suggesting that if more young black men recognized their potential, things could change dramatically. His message to Durk was meant to inspire strength through forgiveness, as it had done for him, allowing him to become a mentor and a positive influence on younger people. Wallow co-hosts $1 Million Worth of Game with Gilly Da King, a rapper and actor. Known for his motivational outlook, Wallow turned his life around after spending 2 decades in prison. He built a strong social media presence and has partnered with brands like the NFL, Puma, and Foot Locker. Now, his advice to Lil Durk has gained renewed attention in light of recent events, highlighting the ongoing challenges for peace within the hip-hop scene and the struggle to move beyond a culture of violence. Quando Rondo is also facing a big day on December 12th, when he's set to be sentenced for federal charges related to conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute and distribution of controlled substances. He already pleaded guilty to these charges back in August, appearing before a judge in Georgia. In his hometown of Savannah, Quando Rondo admitted to a single count of conspiracy to possess and distribute marijuana. Judge R. Stan Baker has marked December 12th on the calendar for his sentencing. As for Lil Durk, it seems that his quest for revenge is leading to significant losses, including the honorary key he was awarded just days before his arrest. Lil Durk loses honorary key. After arrest, Lil Durk recently lost the honorary key to the village of Broadview following his arrest. Along with that, the village decided to cut ties with his nonprofit organization, Neighborhood Heroes. On Friday, the 25th of October, officials in Broadview announced that they were rescinding the honorary key they had given the Chicago rapper just days earlier. Well, obviously the decision came after Durk's arrest on Thursday night in Florida. Mayor Katrina Thompson shared that while the legal system presumes innocence until proven guilty, the village holds its public figures to an even higher standard of behavior. She emphasized that those associated with the village, like Durk, are expected to reflect the community's values. With the news of his arrest, the village decided to revoke the key and end its partnership with his youth-focused nonprofit, the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. As mayor, she stressed that her main job is to protect the interests and values of Broadview's residents. It's worth noting that just a short time ago, on October 18th, Lil Durk was honored for his contributions through Neighborhood Heroes. But now, in light of his recent arrest, everything has shifted. Lil Durk, the Grammy-winning rapper and philanthropist, made a special return to Chicago for his birthday weekend, packed with community service, some time for spiritual reflection, and of course, celebration. It all kicked off on Friday, October 18th, when he was honored with the keys to the city. Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson and Bellwood Mayor Andre Harvey presented him with this recognition. School students from Durk's Neighborhood Heroes Kaleidoscope program also showed up. This was a big shout out to Durk for everything he's been doing to lift up the community. Later that evening, Durk's foundation, Neighborhood Heroes, hosted a private fireside chat specifically for 50 young black men from Roseland. They had community leaders and groups like Omega Psi Phi, Phalanx Family Services, and Chicago Cred coming together to mentor these young men. Durk and his dad, Mr. Banks, even took the time to talk directly to the group, motivating them to stay on track with their goals and keep pushing forward. The next day, October 19th, they held the Unity Prayer event over at Navy Pier. It was open to everyone and focused on spiritual wellness, reflection, and bringing people together. Durk made it clear how much he values community connection, saying, Promoting spiritual well-being and fostering unity is essential to the work we do at Neighborhood Heroes. This event is about bringing people together meaningfully, encouraging connection, peace, and positivity across our communities. The weekend wrapped up with an almost sold-out concert at the United Center on Sunday, October 20th. Lil Baby, Sexy Red, Bossman, and Delau hit the stage, with 18,000 fans showing up to support and raise funds for Neighborhood Heroes. The whole weekend was a mix of music, giving back, and spiritual reflection, really showing how committed Durk is to uplifting underserved communities in Chicago. Durk, the Chicago native, has received some public backing from Cook County leaders in the past, including Johnson and State's Attorney Kim Foxx. They've acknowledged the positive work he's doing through his nonprofit foundation. Durk referenced Kim Foxx in his 2022 Track No interviews, where he mentioned giving her tickets to a Bulls game. And to top it off, they were seen together at a Chicago Sky game in June. In June 2023, just a month after Johnson took office, Durk, who's 32, made a significant contribution of $150,000 to Johnson through his LLC called The Voice Touring, which is based in Henderson, Nevada. Records show that Durk is the manager of this LLC, but Mayor Brandon Johnson had a bit of a tricky situation on his hands after rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Devontae Banks, was arrested. So on Friday, the 25th of October, when asked whether he'd return the $150,000 that Durk contributed to his political committee, Johnson didn't really give a clear answer. When the mayor was asked about the donation, he emphasized that he wouldn't rush to judge someone before a trial. He talked about how he focuses on truth and justice, mentioning that he's aware of the difficult circumstances that have shaped Durk's life. He highlighted that Durk has been open about his journey of healing from past choices and is dedicated to transforming his life. The mayor pointed out that Durk hasn't been convicted of anything, and he expressed his belief in not making judgments before a full trial takes place. At a news conference following a tour at Collins High School, the mayor said, "You are asking me if I should make a judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition." He stressed that it's not his place to determine someone's fate before all the facts are in. He said, "I hope you do understand why it is not my position to determine the outcome of someone's life." Durk Banks is a major supporter of Johnson's political efforts, and when pressed about returning the cash, the mayor replied, "I don't operate in feelings, I operate in truth and justice." Now, if you're not very familiar with Banks, he's one of the standout drill rappers to emerge from Chicago since the genre took off. He's in the same scene as other big names like Chief Keef and G Herbo, known for their intense lyrics that often touch on gang conflicts. Recently, though, Durk has been working on changing his image. In his latest album, released in May 2023, he focused on the impact of gun violence. He's also been vocal about rejecting crime and has highlighted his Muslim faith on social media. In a September post on X, he shared, "Everybody should get second chances at life," emphasizing that he's moved past his previous legal issues, stating, "My background wiped and clean of all cases. I ain't a felon anymore." Plus, earlier this year, Banks made an appearance on HBO's Hard Knocks while they covered the Chicago Bears training camp. Before his donation through The Voice Touring, Durk had met with Johnson a couple of times, once when he was mayor-elect and another time over Zoom after his inauguration. This first meeting got a lot of buzz on hip-hop blogs and social media, with Durk even defending himself against accusations of just trying to promote his upcoming album. In his Grammy-winning song All My Life, he raps, "I done sat with the mayor and politicians. I'm trying to change the image." On top of that, last August, Johnson also joined the rapper at a financial literacy event alongside Bank of America and City Treasurer Melissa Conyers Irvin's office. He was also present at a Lil Durk holiday event in December. Although Mayor Johnson continues to publicly commend Lil Durk, likely due to their close relationship and shared community initiatives, the rapper's recent arrest has forced him to relinquish his honorary titles. The news of his detainment has ignited intense reactions across various communities and social media, with netizens weighing in passionately on the unfolding situation. Wild reactions to Lil Durk's arrest. Lil Durk's recent arrest has set the internet buzzing, with the hashtag #FreeDurk blowing up as fans rally behind the Chicago rapper. But not everyone's on board with the support. Charleston White, a well-known critic in the hip-hop scene, had a different take. He didn't hold back, sharing his thoughts on social media. "Ain't nobody laughing at Durk like they were laughing at me when I went to jail." White's comments highlighted what he sees as a double standard in how fans react to legal troubles. He pointed out, "It's all love when it's your favorite rapper, but it's open season on everybody else," emphasizing the difference in public sympathy depending on celebrity status. White also made a rather blunt remark about the harsh conditions of federal holding that he believed Durk might be experiencing, emphasizing the difficulty of being held without bond. White didn't stop there. He suggested that Durk might need protective custody because of his high profile. He explained that California's prison system can be a tough environment, especially for those with a big name, often making them targets for extortion. To top it all off, he played J. Cole and Durk's song All My Life, which many fans found ironic. His comments definitely stirred stirred up more talk among fans and critics, bringing a new angle to the ongoing conversation around Durk's legal situation. When the news of his arrest dropped, fans rushed to X, sharing their frustration about not getting a chance to see Durk perform in the UK. One fan summed it up saying, "We are never seeing Durk perform in the UK." Others on X shared their thoughts about how, just as the Chicago rapper seemed to be getting the green light to perform in the UK, he ended up behind bars. One user wrote, "Just when he's been accepted in the UK, the feds get him. Tell me it ain't so." Metro News reported that back in 2020, Lil Durk was denied entry into the UK by immigration officials due to ongoing charges related to a 2019 Atlanta incident. This led to the cancellation of all his scheduled shows at that time. The event organizers mentioned online that the shows set for February 2020 had to be called off due to unforeseen circumstances. As of now, neither Durk nor his team has addressed the reactions circulating online. Now there's also a conspiracy theory circulating about whether he somehow foresaw his own arrest. Lil Durk's 2022 track Federal Nightmares has been making waves. The chorus goes, "Now I'm having federal nightmares / I'm having federal nightmares / having federal nightmares / I'm having federal nightmares." Fans have been pointing out how Lil Durk might have seen his own future coming with this one. In verse 1, he raps, "Delete my iCloud if I think they really on me, though / when trial come, it ain't your phone, it be your homie, though / he on the stand with his head down like he don't know me, though / it ain't no point in no getting lawyer if your homie told." And a clip of this verse has been circulating online. One X user posted a 36-second snippet from the song's official video, saying, "Lil Durk really predicted his own future with this song, Federal Nightmares." The track was released in March 2022 as the 28th song on his 7220 deluxe album. It features production by Taj Money, DJ Mango, Io Blue, and Touch a Trend, who also rapped the intro. In Federal Nightmares, Durk talks about dealing with federal nightmares, including investigations, trials, and even facing betrayal from his own gang. This isn't the first time Durk has touched on these themes. Back in December 2020, in his track Redman from The Voice, Deluxe, he wrote, "They ask me where I'ma be in 10 years. I said, the feds." That track was produced by Malek OTB, Bands, and John Lamb. And let's not forget, he also mentioned the feds in his single Feds Listening. Now, in a surprising twist, an OTF member who allegedly cooperated with law enforcement against Lil Durk is now speaking out about how the rapper helped him through his time in prison. Not long after Durk got arrested, a key figure in the case came to light, OTF member Jam. According to court documents, Jam reportedly worked with law enforcement by wearing a hidden wire for several years, gathering evidence that allegedly ties Durk to certain activities. Jam was released from prison in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempted murder. During that time, he reportedly provided information that directly linked Durk to a murder-for-hire plot aimed at Rondo. This situation has stirred up quite a buzz, as Jam's secretive actions have led to a lot of speculation and debate in the hip-hop scene. Following Lil Durk's arrest, an old interview with OTF Jam from 2023 started making the rounds again. In this interview with DJ Jerry, Jam opened up about his long-standing connection with Durk and the support he got while behind bars. Jam reminisced, "I remember Durk was making rap songs for our parties. He was talking about how Durk's music was a big part of their community get-togethers. That was bro, back before the fame and the money. He made a way for me to be straight." Jam shared how Durk's music was a source of inspiration and a way to stay connected during his 12 years in prison. Even though Jam didn't directly address the claims about working with authorities, his memories highlighted the strong bond he had with Durk before their legal issues drove a wedge between them. Lil Durk recently in September shared that his criminal record is now wiped clean. His legal issues go back to 2011 when he got arrested on a weapons charge and spent 3 months in jail. Fast forward to 2013 and the All My Life artist was back in trouble, this time getting charged with unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. After pleading guilty, he was given 18 months probation, but things got more complicated during that probation period. Durk was reportedly found with 2 guns, which led to another weapons charge. However, a judge eventually dismissed the case, saying that Durk wasn't in possession and control of the weapons, so he didn't break his probation terms. Then came 2019, when things got even more serious. Durk, along with his late collaborator King Von, faced attempted murder charges after a non-lethal shooting incident in Atlanta. But in 2022, they were cleared of these charges when the case was dropped. Lil Durk's lawyer, Manny Aurora, had this to say about the outcome. "While it took 3 years for the state to make the right decision, in the end, the right decision was made, and Mr. Banks Durk can finally put this event behind him." And let's not forget, Durk had always maintained his innocence on these charges, even rapping about it in his track Turn Myself In. Earlier in August, Lil Durk made it clear that he was standing strong in his Muslim faith and using it to turn away from his past life. On Sunday, August 18th, the Chicago rapper took to Instagram to share where he was mentally. His post had a clear message: "Don't label me nothing outside of a man, a father, and a 1000% Muslim. The